Hey guys, aloha, or I shouldn't say aloha. I'm not sure what I should say. Uh, I'm sorry I'm even a couple minutes late when I said I was going to be late already. Here it is 3 o'clock in Valparaiso, so hello, it's Bethany Drew here. These crazy summer days, I don't normally wear this kind of stuff. I've got the flower in my hair and I have a tank top over a t-shirt, and I'm also wearing my little cover that I got in Cancun because I've been helping. Hey, Holly, I've been helping with our kids' VBS this week. So I'm up front singing and headbanging, which is why my hair is crazy and stuck in my flower. But so welcome to Mystery Island. Hoo ha. Yes, I have a lot of those songs already memorized, and it's fun and a joy. But it's 9 to noon every day this week, and I've also been helping watch my my nephews. So it's been a little crazy. You guys understand that, right? But I still wanted to come on today because I'm just excited about this. I just want to keep showing you stuff from the annual catalog because soon, and I'm going to tease you a little bit with the holiday stuff, but you know, soon in August you'll start being able to order from the holiday catalog, and a lot of these things can kind of coordinate and work together, so that's exciting. But we are going to look at the Many Mates bundle, which is kind of a fun saying bundle, but what I love, I almost got it for not just the words, but this medallion background thing that you can play with is really fun. So without any further ado, let's look at that, and I'll show you some simple things to do first, and then we'll kind of look into some of the more fun, and they're still not complicated, but just more avid kind of crafting you can do with this. So let me turn around. Thanks for joining me, and if you do come on, just say hi. I always love seeing who's joining me live. Sorry, it's gonna be a little shaky. Okay. So let's look at some simple things first. Hey, Chris. Thanks for joining me. I know these crazy summer days, it's even tricky for me to just get on, so thank you for coming by, guys. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Rachel. Thank you guys for coming along. Okay, so if you haven't looked in your annual catalog and seen yet, on page 43, can you see the page number? Yeah, on page 43, there's this Many Mates bundle. So again, you will see the stamp set here. If you like, or if you have the Big Shot and you want the matching dies, make sure to get the bundle together. But you can, if you don't have the Big Shot or don't have a die cutting machine, you could always just buy the stamp set for $23. But they give you 10% off when you get both things together. So for just $51.25, you're also getting this fun little set of dies. And the biggest die is the size of almost a card front. So if it's like right on the front of a card. So this is really cool. I love this die, which is kind of why I got this bundle. But I also love the stamp set that it matches with. Has so many sayings, and I do love, I mean, it's called Many Mates because they pair together well, but I love some of the ones that are outlined and you can color in, and I'll show you that, how easy that is to do with your blends or watercolor pencils. Lots of ways to color. But just even looking in the catalog at the couple examples here, you can trim it off and use a smaller mat. You can use, there's some border ones, and you can use the borders and make a fun border pattern. You can do it in, I think this was used on foil paper, so you can use it in all your, you can use a vellum background, trim it off and make strips, so there's kind of fun things. Yes, Teresa, I agree. I love these sentiments. They really are nice. And I love, again, I'm a sucker for the font, and I love the different fonts of it as well. So there's a get well, there's happy birthday, happy anniversary, just thinking of you, congrats. You're just so fabulous for anything. Celebrate again for anything. It's your day. That also could be graduation or birthday. A thanks. And then it's got little sentiments that, again, you can pair with some of those sentiments. Today is all about you. I'm glad you were born. Better yet, goes with get well soon. this calls for a huge celebration. You totally earned it. Congrats there on your retirement. Thanks, you're so nice. Thanks because you make me smile. Or even you're just so fabulous and you make me smile. You could kind of omit the because. Life is better with you, and then so happy for you, and also slightly jealous. Oh, that one's kind of funny. So the sayings are really good in this set too. So the first easy card I'm going to show you is just with your thick white cardstock. It's always just so nice. Again, I show you guys a lot starting off with the white card base. So I'm going to show you super simple. And I think I've showed you this, guys, multiple times, but I love this corner rounder punch. One, because it's a triple punch, it makes a little tag punch, it makes this cute little design in the corner. But the corner rounder is probably the one I use the most. And you just press down, and I can cut both of those corners off at the same time if I keep them together. So I'm just doing my ends. Oftentimes when I'm making a really simple card, I do like just rounding the corners because I think it just makes it look pretty. So let me get some scrap paper here. I really should get some new scrap paper. Some of this is getting pretty ugly. But your scrap paper doesn't need to be pretty, darn it. Now here's where I, already from the very beginning, I'm going to tease you a little bit with one of the stamp sets that I got from the Holiday Mini, because I want to show you again how when you have a sentiment stamp set, you can match it with anything. So you could make it, use a fall stamp set, you could use a winter stamp set, you could use flowers. You can pair it with pretty much any stamp set you have. So I'm going to show using some fun colors with the Snowflake Wishes stamp set. Now this is a photopolymer stamp set, and it comes with 2 different sheets of stamps. And typically it will come, I'll show you because I just threw these away. It'll come with like a thinner piece. How is my battery already low? I'm telling you guys, I feel like I need a new phone. So there's a thinner sheet that you just peel off. And you could keep it together, but I peel it off and just, because they're sticky stamps, they stick right to the page. So I keep just one of the backgrounds. Just a little tip for you, if you wanted that. But I love snowflakes. In Indiana, our winters are pretty long, right? So you can make winter cards for any occasion. And I love that this one has "Thank you snow much." There's a little Happy Hanukkah in there. May your season sparkle. So for anything. Our friendship is one of a kind. I love that one. That could be a birthday or just because card. Snowflake wishes for a Merry Christmas. And in the coldest moments of the year, my heart is warm because you're near. That could be a Christmas card, or again, just because. So that's Snowflake Wishes that you guys as customers can order come August already. And I think that's good. So this is the first year we are, the holiday catalog is coming out in August rather than September. So it's coming out a little earlier than it normally does, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to show you a really simple way to stamp. Now I've got 3 colors. I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. I'm going to use colors maybe you typically wouldn't think of using with snowflakes. Magenta Madness and Highland Heather. So I'm going to ink them up, just a light few taps. And I'm going to do, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to keep it pretty much on just one side. We'll see, maybe I'll. So there's the magenta. I'll do a little purple one. And then when you're using snowflakes or flowers, stamping off is always fun because then you get different gradations of the color really easily. Now my Coastal Cabana, again, not a typical, you would think a typical snowflake color, but so fun. I'm going to use the big one with my Coastal Cabana here. My biggest snowflake. It's okay if they overlap a little bit. Put just a little bit in the corner on the bottom there. I'm going to stamp off and stamp that kind of right in the middle. And that's okay that it was blotchy. You know, if you really wanted to fix it, because they're photopolymer stamps, you could almost just tap the middle a little bit, stamp off again, and you can try to find that, stamp again. And I would press more in the center, and that got it a little bit better. Now it looks kind of like a blurry snowflake, but it's okay. That's just kind of the background, and then I would want to put my, in black, Our Friendship is One of a Kind. So they're going to be focusing on My Friendship is One of a Kind anyhow. So they won't care with that snowflake's a little blurry, right? I mean, hey, if you get a card, you're not too picky, are you? So isn't that pretty with the snowflakes in the background? And then Our Friendship is One of a Kind. That could be anything. So I'm going to use the You're Just So Fabulous on the front. So this one is from the Many Mates stamp set. I'm just going to put that right there. And then because it's outlined for you with your blends, or say your aqua painters or your watercolor pencils, you could pretty easily just color in. And I'm going to use my Magenta Madness. Is this the dark? Yeah, the dark first. So I'm going to use my Magenta Madness. I'm using the thinner tip because these are smaller words. I'm doing the dark first, and then I will blend in the light Magenta Madness. Hey Stephanie, thanks for joining me. I hope that this stays alive. I seriously had like 75% still before I went on, and now it's saying I only have 10%. Something seriously wrong with my phone. So there's the pink. Yes, hi Stephanie. Glad you made it. Alright, and then I'll do the purple. I'm writing on this really lightly because this fabulous is even the smallest word. If it bleeds a little bit, it's fine. So I'm touching it just barely with the tip of that. And actually this middle one, I think I'm going to try blending both the purple and the pink together. So I'm doing purple on the bottom. Aren't these fun? I'm telling you, Coastal Cabana is one of my favorite colors, guys. It really is. Okay, so now I'm going to blend in the pink in with the purple. So it gives it kind of an ombre look. And how fun is that? To mix those two colors in the middle words there. Fun? So super simple. You're Just So Fabulous on the inside. Our Friendship is One of a Kind. Just an encouraging. Now if you wanted to step this up a little bit in the centers of a couple of the flowers, you could add a few little rhinestones. You could add some bling in there if you wanted. Or you could just keep it as is. Or you could tie a little ribbon on the side. So there's ways to step that up, but you could also just keep it super simple like it is. And it's still awesome and beautiful. So again, that was, if you missed the beginning, this is Coastal Cabana, Highland Heather, and the Magenta Madness. So how fun. So this could be winter time, but they're just still fun, more fun and bright, cheery colors. Aren't they fun? Thank you. Thank you, guys. And that just took me like, you know, less than a minute. Really? That's awesome. So I love snowflakes. So I did want to show you that set. It's going to be an awesome set. Snowflakes are so versatile. We'll use them again, so don't worry, the snowflakes aren't going away. And again, if you missed it, this Snowflake Wishes will be in the holiday, so the August to December catalog, which Stephanie, some of you guys in club will be getting that soon. That's just around the corner too. Club time, yay. Okay, now just for some show and tell too. I'm going to show you another easy one, but I did want to show you a fun way to use this background. So if you cut it out, I cut it out once in Just Jade. And Teresa, some of you guys have these papers. So this is a great medallion. I know, Stephanie, the holiday's full of awesomeness. But this medallion is great to use with stamp sets, like I said, or pair it with then designer paper. So this is from the Flowers for Every Season designer paper. And I literally just trimmed it off, and then the extra piece that I had, I trimmed it at 5.5 and used this on a simpler card. And what I did with my medallion, after I cut it out of Just Jade, I used one of my nested shaped dies and cut it out right out of the medallions. Isn't that fun? So then you have a little opening in this card, and then I just added a little flower with my smaller daisy punch. And I probably still will add a sentiment, but again, it's been a crazy week. Here I add, I'm glad you were born, and then I could put a happy birthday or whatever on the inside of this. So this is a little bit more simpler version, but I love the ornate touch of that, and that's fun that out of one medallion you can make 2 cards. So later I'll show you using just different designer paper and a little bit different stuff, how to do that exactly. So we'll come back to that. Now, different colors. Let's look at green and yellow. This is Mint Macaroon and the Bumblebee. So the Bumblebee is one of our in colors. Now, this one I cut out of a retired color. It was one of our, a couple years ago in color. And this one I'm going to save and use as a mask. So I wanted to show you how fun it is. So again, I'm starting with a white card base, and I already scored it halfway through at 4 1/4. Okay, so once you get it folded, now if you want this to stay a little bit, you could use just a little bit of snail in the middle, and I mean just a little bit, just to make it stay in place so it doesn't move around. And I'm going to put it right in the center. And now I'm going to sponge over this, so this is a mask now. Okay, so that's kind of the fun of keeping one cut out that I can use. Now I won't throw this away, I can use this with multiple colors because I will just use it as a mask now. And we'll go in a diagonal pattern here, kind of. So I'm starting in the corner, and it doesn't have to be perfect either. I'm using sponge daubers. And I'm just sponging right over the stencil. So I'm kind of doing the corner here. And like I said, it's really okay if it doesn't come out perfect. So I'm going to go back and forth between and here it didn't really stay. I'm going to have to hold that down better. So I didn't put enough adhesive down. Mental note. Oh, and mine slid when I was putting it on. Okay. I'm just going to try to make sure it's straight. Now I'm dabbing on the Bumblebee, and again I'm going to just go in, and I might actually go back into the green a little bit, overlap it. Now I'm doing a little bit better job of holding it down. Back to the Mint Macaroon. I'm just kind of lightly rubbing over it again. And again, I'm not being too paranoid about if it's covering the whole thing. You'll see. When you're sponging over a stencil, sometimes it looks like, oh, is that dark enough? Is it, can you actually see anything? But you'll see the fun. It's so much fun when you lift it up and you see how awesome it is. And what I love about sponging the color over too is it really gives it a light effect, so we could just stamp over like in a black easily. Back to my bumblebee. Again, I'll go kind of back into the green a little bit. And let's finish with green in the corner up here again. So this is fun to do with, again, you could do with any of your ornate dies if you have a different kind of die. I think sometimes we forget how much we can do with these. Now I'm going to lift it up. How fun is that? Isn't that cool? So you have that little pattern, and it's kind of got the striped look there. It's kind of a subtle look to it. And if I wanted to, I don't know, pop up a little bit, like maybe I want to put a sentiment. I was just going to maybe stamp right over it in black, which you could do. Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Isn't that fun? But I think I'm going to just take a circle punch with my mint macaroon. See, I'm playing. Let's I want to make sure I find mint. Okay, I've got mint macaroon paper then, and I'm going to punch out with, this is my 2-inch circle punch, but if you have like the stitch dies, you could cut out a stitch die, or use, you know, a prettier, like a fancier punch too. And let's see, well, happy birthday kid in there, sure. And then I'll just do color and color. So again, I do need a video assistant. You're right, Stephanie. You want to come over? On Wednesdays at 2:30? You could also help me set up so I'm actually ready on time. I think some people who do videos actually do have assistants. That would be nice. But I'm glad you guys are all awesome and you give me grace. Alright, so I just stamped this in the mint macaroon right on top of the mint macaroon. And I'm going to just run over the happy with my Wink of Stella glitter brush. Because who doesn't love a little extra bling? And then I'll pop that up. And you literally could add, you know, if you wanted to keep going, you could add some, what do I say? Some extra bling from like the Forever Greenery Suite, those dies. In fact, I think I have some cut out. Let me see. See if I have some cut out in the right shapes. So just popping up that sentiment on the mint macaroon too kind of blends in those colors, matches that. And how fun is that to make a fun background? You're supposed to be working, Stephanie. Yeah. I think a few of you who watch are supposed to be working. You rebels. You know, this is part of your therapy. Watching this will make you more efficient and you'll be in a better mood, so you will work harder, right? That's my justification for you. So let me see. I will show you with my Forever Greenery suite. Look at this. I cut out all these pieces while I had the dies out. I just took a bunch of different colors and started just cutting out them in a lot of different colors. So I would have extras just on hand. And look at that. That white one, I think that looks kind of fun there. So I'm just going to add, you are a rebel, Stephanie. I think all of us have a little rebel in us. We wouldn't be human if we didn't have a little rebel in us, right? All right, so I'm going to stick that under there. And adding that little bit from the Forever Greenery just adds even more. How fun. And then you could even keep going. Look at all my bling. I have, some of this is retired, so excuse it, but I think, hey Dad, I think I do want to add a little bling. And this is where, this is fun. When you have rhinestones, when you have the extra little bling to add, it just makes it so much fun. And again, like I've told you before, I like adding accessories and rhinestones and that kind of thing in like 3 and in some kind of triangle shape. So I'll put one right there, there, and there. And these were, I don't think we can get these anymore, but I think you can still get glimmer dots in different colors. But there. See how fun that is to add just a little extra things, but it was still a very simple, basic, and there's really not a whole lot of layers, right? It's just a one layer card. So happy birthday, you could say I'm glad you were born, or it's your day, that sort of thing. You could add on the inside. Okay, so that's a fun, easy card to make when you cut out that medallion and use it as a stencil. So, fun. You guys like that? Thanks, Rachel. Okay, so that's an easy, for those of you who just came on, I just showed a really easy one using snowflakes and coloring in the You're Just So Fabulous, and then just using the snowflakes again on the inside. So, pairing it with other things is fun. Here is another card that I made, color on color again. So when you use this medallion, it is kind of fun to just use, this is one of our ink colors from last year, what is that, Seaside Spray. So it's a pretty grayish blue, purplish blue. And this one I have Just Thinking of You, and it says Life is Better with You on the inside. And here I added, and like Teresa, I know you've got, at least you just bought this gold specialty paper. That's awesome to add just one of those elements. And again, I used my Forever Greenery, used some navy and some vellum. And just added the Just Thinking of You. I used my stitch circle on there. And here I also bled with my Wink of Stella, the glitter brush again. I just bled the thinking on that sentiment, Just Thinking of You. So again, it looks so professional, right? But I know, Rachel, my wish list keeps growing too. Yes, you're gonna love the specialty paper, you guys, really. It's just a fun addition, and those are just things I popped up with glue dots, and then I popped these up with a couple dimensionals, and voila, you have a beautiful card that anyone's gonna love, right? So back to these cards, I just real quickly want to show you, hopefully before my phone dies, I want to show you how I did this, but I'm going to show you with a different shape to cut out the center. And I did want to give you some, I'm going to raise my, stand a little bit, my phone up. So sorry if I'm making you seasick or anything. So you can see me cut. Usually I just walk over and cut it, but I just want to give you guys a few tips when you're cutting this medallion. One, because it's pretty ornate, so I'm going to put my Big Shot this way here for you. Now again, I have the magnetic plate, and then you put a cutting pad down. So you could use the regular platform and 2 cutting pads, but the magnetic plate is just nice because it holds it down. I'm going to use Misty Moonlight with my die. And when you are cutting something that's like rectangular shape, even my stitched rectangles, I typically like to tilt it to the side a little bit. So I don't like going straight on. I think that's a little bit harder on your dies, and they may start warping on you if you go directly straight on. So if you tilt it, it's one, going to cut a little better, and it's going to be a little bit easier on your dies. Okay, so I've got the magnetic sheet, the medallion thing, and then my cutting pad on top. Now I think I've told you guys before, to save on your cutting pads, I try to just use one of my cutting pads, and I will flip it back and forth every time I use it. I move around my dies, and I save one that I don't really cut. This has always been my top pad. So it has just a tiny bit of indents, but it's not cut into. And that just is really nice, and I think it helps keep your cutting pads from warping too. Okay, so now I've got the other cutting pad. Now I'm gonna roll through this like 4 times because it's pretty intricate. I want to roll back and forth a few times. So keeping it in there, you can go back and forth. This is, if you guys have like the ornate dies, some of those that are really ornate, I like going through a few times. So try 3 or 4. If that doesn't work well and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm still having a hard time, you could totally flip this over upside down. Now mine might start coming done. So I'm going to show you flipping this upside down. So now this was my top pad, and I'm going to flip the paper. Oh, now it just came out. See, mine's pretty cut. Mine's cut pretty well. Now, if you find that it wasn't coming out well, you could always fit it back in there, because it will match up, and you'll feel it when it goes back in the grooves and is in there completely. You could put it upside down, put your cutting pad back on, and cut it upside down. Oh yeah, Holly, if instead of Scotch tape, if you have washi tape, that's a little better. If you don't have the magnetic board yet, that will help. So if you understand, then I just kind of flipped it all upside down. So some of these intricate ones, it might work better if you flip the die upside down, then cut through it. It might pop out even better for you. So now that I know that that's back in, and I've flipped it upside down, now it's cutting through my top cutting pad. Yes, Deb, the magnetic sheet or platform is awesome. And guys, when our new die cutting machines come out, there is a new the new magnetic platform will be self-healing, so you will not have to have a cutting pad on top first. You can cut right on the magnetic sheet, and it's self-healing, and that will stick it even more. So I'm super excited for that. All right, now, sorry, my phone is being a little finicky. I hope it finishes it. Okay, now I've pulled this out. There's a lot of pieces that are already popping out as I try to pull it off, which is good. Another thing that comes with you're like, what's going on here? There's a die brush on the end of our pickup tool, and it also comes with this little foam, really squishy mat. And so if you have a garbage handy right next to you when you're putting all of those pieces out, that's probably the best way to do it. And when you get your piece and you put it over this little foam sheet, you take your die brush and you start just rolling over this foam mat, and look how fun that is. Like, these pieces just start popping out. So you do get lots of fun little doodads. That's why my craft room does look like a tornado blew through it, because I make time to craft. But do I find time to clean my craft room very often?